overwhelming response. Doing all right? School going okay? So-so? Surviving? Drowning? Just hitting up. You two are supposed to be drinking water. Both of you.
I drink water like all day. This is kind of how I wake up.
You talked about wanting to drink more water. I'm just saying. Both of you did, ironically. How'd the week go? How'd the exercise go? Little hour and a half? 90 minutes. That's pretty good. Who went less than 90 minutes? Anybody? Without swearing? Probably, right? Maybe some of you didn't even notice. Okay. Yours was like, right? Not saying like. How'd it go?
I stopped myself. So.
Okay, cool. How about motivation? Several of you struggled with that, right? Like, you're not alone. It's literally something you guys struggle with, which touches on a lot of things, right? Our motivation, our willpower, all these different things. You guys are not alone. That seems to happen every semester. Some of you know exactly what motivates you. Some of you think you know what motivates you, right? So, but you guys are very much not alone, and you're like, man, I'm not really sure. Okay, which is pretty entertaining, all right? So, cool. All right, what else from last week, from the exercise? Yes, sir. No. Yeah, okay. James, you gonna say something?
Yeah, we had to choose to do something.
Yeah, how'd it go? What was yours again? Working out?
Yeah, just work sit-ups and shit.
Yeah. Pushing in your chair? You know Taranjo, the man in the band? His deal was this, he always would put his jackets on his chair when he'd come home. Sweater, jacket, it was cold. He'd always, instead of hanging his coats up, he would always throw them on his chair. He'd have like 4 or 5 jackets on his chair. And it was driving him nuts. He's like, what the hell, right? So that was his, which I thought was funny. Do you guys know Noah Ferguson, Yell leader, 4.0, musician, tall, nicest kid ever, doesn't swear, good looking, makes you sick. Can't stand that kid. Just kidding. I hope my daughter's married someone like him. Okay. He did the deal. He was 4.0, good kid, good student, right? He counted how many times he picked up his phone studying in an hour, and I think it was like 26 times. Like, and he was disgusted by that. And he's a good student, right? So I thought it was funny. George Zimmer, I think his last name ring a bell? He's a senior, anybody know him? He literally deleted TikTok because of how many times he was looking at TikTok throughout the day. Some of you had like 4 hours on YouTube, right? Spending a lot of time. This shit's super entertaining to me, okay? But I'm glad you're paying attention. So, let's get into it. Here's you guys. Why does dieting lead to cheating on your spouse? Yeah. Well, part of it, okay, what are you trying to say? You're kind of on the path.
Like when you're hungry, right, and you're already hungry, you're kind of in that like suffering mindset. You're not your willpower, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, right. I'm choosing the diet, don't want to do it, have to do it. What do you got, Trent?
Also, there's like studies that show that being hungry and being so you make the most risky decisions in the morning when you're most well rested or when you're hungry.
Right. Yeah. So it's almost like the Snickers commercials are on to something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, what you're saying, Wes, is your willpower is zapped, right? Yeah, I'll just go sleep with someone else. How the hell does that correlate? Right? That's weird, isn't it? All right. When is self-control the highest? Say it again. Who said it? You're right. Who said it? One of y'all said it. Yeah, there you go. Were you just guessing? Huh? That's perfect. Okay, you weren't here last week either. Okay. Yeah, morning. Why?
Well rested.
Yeah, hopefully some of you more than others, right? But yeah, you're more well rested. Okay, good. All right. What happens after work or school when it's time to work out or do homework or study or complete a project? Is that an adjective?
It's a verb.
Okay, what happens, James?
You're burnt out.
Yeah, why?
Because you just spent all your willpower focusing.
Yeah, hopefully some of you did, right? But yeah, you make decisions all throughout the day. You get to the end of the day. I know I should maybe go to the rec. I know I should sit down and study. What do you do instead? Anything, right, Josh? I will do anything besides the things that I know I have to do. Why?
It's easier.
It's easier. Yeah? Yeah, you're worn out, okay? I don't want to. Okay? I should. I want to be fitter. I want to be stronger. I want to get better grades. I want to pass my exams, right? And you're like, nah, I don't want to. Okay. So, good. All right. How does resisting sweets lead to procrastination?
Was that something to do? I can't remember exactly, but I do remember it being part of like when your blood sugar's low, you don't have kind of ability to focus, and so you're not able to like sit down and like get your assignment done. So
Yeah.
you're going towards like the path of least resistance, which is like your phone or something like that.
Right. Remember last week we talked about what your brain does? Like it craves fat and sugar from centuries ago of how we existed, right? To store it up for when we needed it. And it's still doing that. Do we get plenty of fat and sugar in our diet now?
Oh yeah.
Sure, okay? But your brain is still trying to conserve things, so it's not going to let things go. It's not going to release that energy that you think you need, right? Because it's trying to store it up. So I'm a little low on blood sugar, or I'm getting tired because I chose not to get the sweet. So you're kind of zapping your willpower. And then you're like, yeah, I don't want to study. I'll do anything else, okay? I might take a nap because I'm worn out or tired, right? Instead of doing what you're supposed to, okay? Things you don't consider as requiring willpower can exhaust and limit strength. How many of you tried to look at your phone less? Right, throughout the day, a lot of you, or YouTube or whatever your thing that you were tracking was. How hard was that? What happened, Caitlin?
It's just difficult because like I'll make an excuse like I need to check that group and be like, or I need to check this text and like if I fish or like what did they say when like I can put it off for 30 more minutes. So
Yeah.
actually what I did is I downloaded there's like an app on the App Store, there's a lot of them. It's called like Focus.
Yeah.
And you like turn it on while you're trying to study. And it's kind of silly, but like if you leave the app or if you go to another app while you have your focus time set, it like floats this little tree. So you go back. So you kind of like set the time for like 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and you just sit and do notes.
Yeah.
And you set yourself a break. So that actually helped me a
Good.
lot.
Good. Declan, you're shaking your head?
I'm just feeling it. So whenever I was doing it, I would
Wait, you have to tree up.
with no, but for me, I would like work on an assignment, be like, oh yeah, I got a question. Time to watch a video on YouTube.
One question?
Yeah, basically.
How long did you go, Wes?
Not very long.
3 minutes.
What?
Was it you that said 3 minutes?
No.
So somebody said 3 minutes. I thought it was you. You literally tried to study. You went 3 minutes before you picked up your phone.
Oh, actually, you know what? That might be.
It was you. I just read it this morning.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
He doesn't remember anything.
But I found I typically study like the LLCs or whatever,
Mhm.
and so what I do is because I live like right next to it, I just leave my phone in my room and then take my key and go study because or else I will not get anything done. And I actually like I can crank out multiple assignments in an hour and
Mhm.
do that.
Yeah.
And take my
If you sit down and actually do it, okay? Karen, where'd you put your phone?
By the vanity area.
Like 10 feet away, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, just the effort of going to get it to stopping you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, yeah. So the decisions we're making all day, the things we're working on all day, and you get to the end of the day, you're shot. You're literally shot, right? Are we doomed? Are we screwed?
Yes.
Yes, life is hard, give up. Okay? The entrepreneur and her schedule. Remember her? What'd she do every morning?
She would wake up originally and she would like answer all her emails and stuff and just
When?
like right in the beginning when she woke up.
First thing in the morning, right?
She'd wake up and like have a cup of coffee and answer all her emails. And then by the end of the day she wanted to start her own consulting business, but she was like done.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Work hard for 10 hours, making a good living, doing fine, but had greater aspirations. What'd she do?
She realized like didn't she like hear something that said like you're most productive in the morning, so she put her efforts of what she wanted to do at the beginning of the day, so
Mhm.
she spent that first hour doing what she wanted to do instead of living like her life for other people, and
Yeah.
that really helped her set up her business.
Yeah, bingo. So in the morning, when she was spending time, because when she was young and first got the job, she was like, this is awesome. I want to do well. I'm going to make good money. I would be a badass in the morning. I'd take that 5 to 6 a.m., knock out those emails, get in the car. She had like an hour commute, work all day, come home, good to go. And then she progressed in her career. She's like, why am I still doing that when I don't necessarily need to, and I want to start my own business? And use that 5 to 6 a.m. for herself, and away she went. Good job. Okay. If you've had me before, I've mentioned this way before we use this book. I've mentioned this study all the time, okay, to students, so hopefully you remember it. Some of you don't. You good? You good? All right, stand up if you need to. Okay. So took people in a room, smells like cookies, see cookies, brings out radishes. Okay, instead of cookies, I'm gonna give you radishes for a snack. You smell cookies, see cookies. What do you want? Want some damn cookies. Okay, and I give you radishes, and then I give you a little puzzle to solve. Okay. Other group, you're in the other room. You guys are in the room. Smell cookies, see cookies, get cookies. Have to do the puzzle. How the people do who got cookies do with the puzzle? Better. How the ones with the radishes do? Not as well. Why? Because they want some damn cookies. And we got these stupid, plain, disgusting radishes. Gross. And then we have to do, I don't want to do anything. Okay, welcome to life. But that's exactly what we studied. And the guy, Roy Baumeister, I believe is his name, okay, has studied all these different things. And this was done in like 96, 97, which is not very long ago, and completely changed how we viewed willpower, right? We thought it was just unlimited. If you want to have willpower, you just have willpower, right? So literally changed the game. He mentioned some other studies, like somebody who bet on the Super Bowl and was swearing because they didn't hit their parlays.
Man, I was so bad.
You were like, you did pretty good on not swearing, right?
Until that day.
And then there you go, right? Okay, so he found, interestingly enough, if you're a degenerate gambler like Dylan and I are, okay, that home court for big games is a disadvantage, right? Because the athletes feel more pressure to perform in front of the people that they know and like, right? So it can actually be a disadvantage, right? So this dude studied all that stuff. So, should we have sweets? Sometimes, yes. Yes, absolutely, okay? Running low on energy biases us to be the worst version of ourselves. This is all of you. This is everybody. You guys in particular are screwed. You don't sleep. You don't study. Spend 4 hours a day on TikTok. Right? And then you're like, yeah, I have to. Justin doesn't relate to any of this, by the way, which is fascinating to me. But then, now, it's not that he doesn't have weaknesses. We're just not finding them yet, but we will. And then we'll be like, we got him. Okay, it's really fun. Sometimes it takes, like, getting through the whole book before you find, like, your thing. You're like, oh, shit, I have a thing. I'm not good at this. We'll find it. Hang in there, buddy. No, that's good. Okay, and I'm just picking on you. But sometimes we run low. When we run low on energy, all right, it's the worst version of ourselves. So sleep. Who doesn't eat? Yeah, what? Why?
No time.
Yeah, sure. There's no time. How long does it take to eat a meal? 10 minutes, 5 minutes, right? Smack everything between two pancakes, go to town. Okay? It's not, why don't you eat?
Just don't feel like it.
Okay, now we'll get to it. You too?
Yeah. For me, it's more of like, I could go eat for 10 minutes or I could sleep for 10 minutes.
Okay, Caitlin?
I just usually get like so caught up doing like my responsibilities, whatever I'm focused on that day, that it'll be like 8 o'clock and I realize I haven't really eaten since like 7 a.m. I'm like, oh, I should probably eat something before I go to sleep.
Who can not relate to this? Who needs their food, right? Like, this is a priority for people, right? I got to get my food, okay? Is anybody contracting? I just heard this the other day. Anybody think about going to the Navy? You know you get 6 meals a day in the Navy? 3 going down, 3 coming up. You don't have your sea legs. I thought that was funny. I just heard that. Okay. All right. Is your brain stingy with energy? Yes. Why?
In case we get attacked by a saber-toothed tiger.
That's right. In case we need it. Okay. Your brain is actually trying to protect you. All right. What's the first expense cut? Your willpower. How deflating is that? Your own stupid brain that you're like, I'm trying to figure out my motivation. I want to be fit. I want to get good grades. I want to lose weight. I want to gain weight, whatever it is. And your brain's like, yeah, we're not going to do that. So it's up to you, all right? Why does diet soda contribute? How did I write this? Diet soda contributes to what? Oh, diet soda contributes to what in those trying to diet? For those who drink diet soda, what does that actually do?
Makes you eat more sugar.
Yes. Why?
Because your brain's like, oh, this is sweet. I should pump out a bunch of insulin. Blood sugar, and your body's like,
Yeah, okay, and this is true, all right, and this is actually very alarming. Diet soda has NutraSweet, right, or artificial sweeteners. Your body thinks it's sugar, but it is not sugar, and therefore it cannot process it properly. It is really, really not good for you. Now, if you have like a regular Coke, there's like 30 teaspoons of sugar in there or something like that. It is a shit ton. Okay, now they use high fructose corn syrup. If you get Mexican Coke, which is so good, okay, I don't drink soda hardly ever. Mexican Coke, real sugar, delicious. Okay, there's a ton of sugar in it, right? But almost anything you consume, your body turns into sugar. Just about anything you eat gets broken down into sugar. Okay? So we don't need excess sugar, right? We can usually find it. But if you drink diet soda, you're actually more likely to gain weight because your body doesn't like the fact that it didn't get sugar, right? It's a double meat and cheese Whataburger, large fries. Diet Coke, please. It's the dumbest shit ever, isn't it? Who does not like diet soda?
it's not real. It tastes like the real thing.
Who drinks Dr. Pepper? The national drink. That shit is so disgusting. It's so sweet. I can't.
Have you had the Mexican version? Where they
I
make it-
can't do. I'm sorry. I get it that people love it and have strong addiction for it. It is disgusting to me. Again, I don't really drink soda that much. The only time I would drink soda is when I would drink alcohol, and I would usually drink Diet Coke. I used to love rum and Diet Coke. That was my weapon of choice. And my wife's like, it's the only time you drink soda, you're gonna get Diet Coke cancer, like everything else. And so I gave it up. I really don't drink it very often, but once in a while I have it. It tastes really, really good. It tastes really rich. But that's probably why I don't like it.
Drinking Dr. Pepper and you're over here drinking Diet Coke.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but I don't anymore. Like, it's not, I will try to buy, if I have soda, I'll try to have Mexican Coke. All right, it's phenomenal. Mostly I just drink Topo Chico and vodka, if you're wondering. Yes. No sugar, it's a really good way to go. Can't do it?
Dude,
Why not?
oh man, like vodka, like Topo Chico, that's like what my parents drink.
Yeah, well, I'm old, man. It's because we're old and we don't want sugar, right? It's good, and you're hydrating. I don't know what's in Topo Chico. I think it's laced with Coke because it is delicious. I don't like carbonated water, but it's really good. Yeah. Okay, so should we eat the snack?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, probably. All right. But does sugar really run low in our diets? No. Okay, sugar and salt are everywhere. Right? It's really easy. Do you remember how much they said? One of the studies looked at how much extra sugar you need to help with your willpower. Anybody remember what it said? Half a Tic Tac. This is not very much. Okay. What some of the students did, like to help stay awake for studying and stuff, and you could try it if it works for you. But one was to have Altoids. They actually have sugar in them, so just sucking on an Altoid to help keep you awake, keep you focused. Just little extra snacks. Okay. Sugar is in just about everything. If you want to track something in your diet, pay attention to it for a while. See how much sugar is in foods, in particular how much is added sugar. Right? It's pretty fascinating because you don't really need that much. Short-term thinking and impulsive behavior are more likely. Okay, so we need to be healthy, right? We don't necessarily need a ton of sugar. So how do we do that? What's the solution there? It talks about it in the book, or you can guess. I don't care. What's the solution? How do we set ourselves up for success for the day? In relation to diet.
Didn't she mention like eat more healthy?
can eat healthy snacks, but really you need to fuel yourself up.
It's like foods.
Yeah.
It was like foods with lasting energy, right?
Yes, and in particular avoiding processed foods,
Yeah.
okay, which there's so many of, so many snacks. But eating real food, unprocessed stuff, set yourself up for success. Have a good meal, whether it's breakfast or lunch, but you need to store up. Okay, so if you're good at 7, if you actually eat a decent breakfast, you're in good shape, right? And you could probably go without lunch, right? At least for a while. But if you skip breakfast and you skip lunch, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay? So you actually need to store up beginning of the day if you can. Right? So, how do we train the willpower muscle? Got to do it. How? What are we going to do? You just did it last week.
Small steps.
Yeah, such as?
Like trying to eat, one extra meal a day versus just skipping on one food.
Okay. Yeah. Good. What were you going to say, Wes?
I forgot the examples in the book, but I was just gonna say like, for me, it's leaving my phone in my room.
Okay.
Like, I have like minutes of that.
Yeah. Good. Who else? What else? What are we going to do? What do you got, Caleb?
Maybe it can be little things, like something that you always like skip over. Like you just like making your bed every morning when you're tired, and if you don't have time before first call, make sure you make your bed.
Yeah.
Or like if you have like a little task you're supposed to do like 5 minutes of something like every day, and you don't want to do it, and it's easy, so you feel accomplished because like you still hit your goal.
Yeah.
Right?
Bingo. What do you do every morning, Karen? And what does that do for you?
Makes life better
Why?
because it's like it's like a I get things more I get things done more and I feel like it's clean so
Yeah. It's who does anybody like mowing the yard?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Who else?
Visible progress.
Visible progress. I made my bed. I'm in good shape. Does anybody know who Jordan Peterson is?
Yep.
This is Peterson. Okay. He's a clinical psychologist. Got some good books. Great podcast. Clean your room. Amazing speaker. One of his things is to have one room in your house. You guys only have one room, so pick part of your room. But to have one room in your house that is clean and put together as it should be, that is immaculate. Okay, by your standards, it's in really, really good shape. Why? You know why, James?
Lobsters. No shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Accomplishment.
Yeah, it's literally having something that you can point to that's done. I love mowing the yard because you can turn around and say, look, I did it. Okay? Does anybody hunt, shoot guns? You clean your gun, do you feel good? You never clean them, do you?
I do actually. I found out the trick is to drink and clean at the same time. That makes the experience
That's
so much
good. I'm
better.
glad. We'll put that on YouTube. That'll go to work. One of the many things that's going to get me fired over the years.
I did.
Okay.
Dr. Payne does not endorse the strategy.
Yes, exactly. But normally you feel good because it's something you can start and finish, right? And we feel good about that, right? So absolutely. So create and meet self-imposed deadlines. Small ones if you're not good at this. Just something. Pick one that you want to work on. Don't overwhelm yourself with 12 things you want to do in a week. How many of you did not stick with the thing you were trying to do all week? It was a lot. Who was like gonna go? Who was doing push-ups? Yeah, you did them every day, right?
I did,
But you got lazy on Saturday.
yeah, I only did the minimum.
See, I read what you guys write. Okay, right? And why? Why'd you only do the minimum?
Just 'cause I didn't want to.
I'm done. But you did it, right? Okay, good. All right. Simple things you can do. Better posture. There's always at least one person who sits up when I say that, which is fun for me. Okay. You can get one of those hand grip things, cutting back on sweets, track your spending. All right. All that's going to help set you up. The muscle action being trained isn't necessarily the challenge. It's not just pushing your chair in. Okay. It's the habit of noticing what you're about to do and choosing the more difficult thing than the easiest. You're choosing to make your bed. Okay? You're choosing to try and swear less. Right? Set you up for success. You ever have people say, nothing's impossible? Well, yeah, well, go dribble a football. It's impossible. Okay. More than like 3 bounces. There's a difference between what is difficult and what is impossible. The limits on self-control could reflect either. Some things are just too damn hard, right? and that's fair. But we can still try, okay? We can try to get better. So pick your battles. Is fatigue caused by muscle failure? No. Who said that? Why not?
It's your mind like conserving energy or something.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely correct. Okay. So, when you did your minimum push-ups, could you have done more?
Yeah.
Why didn't you want to?
Like I said, I was just tired. I didn't
Were you tired?
not physically.
Bingo. Your stupid brain was lazy. You don't have a stupid brain. But your brain tells you, I don't want to. Why? Why does it do that?
It's not comfortable.
Huh?
It's not comfortable.
Not comfortable? Okay, what else? What were you saying?
Probably avoided something bad.
Yeah, your brain is like, well, pump the brakes, bro. Okay, we got other shit to do today. All right. Physical exhaustion is less about physical than it is about your mind. Navy SEAL training, we're talking about before class. At the end of Navy SEAL training, which is, 2 years, 3 years, right? They have something called Hell Week, where they keep them awake for an entire week. I think they get a 30-minute nap within a week. They keep them well fed. Okay, they want their energy level up, but they deprive them of sleep. This is the only time in SEAL training when they are allowed to quit and return. Okay, if they literally, because they're almost done, and if they say, I'm out, I quit, the instructor will basically pull them aside, call a little timeout, and say, are you sure? If they go back in, they said, nope, I'm good, I can make it. Because they quit once, they are almost guaranteed to not make it. What they're testing is simply their brains. Your body, believe it or not, can put up with a lot. Now, it wears you out. It's not fun. It's not good for you to do all the time. But your body can handle a lot. What they want to know is what your mind can take. Everybody there, by the end of that SEAL training, super fit. Good to go. Some of them are stronger. Some of them are faster. Everybody's different. But they're in good shape. And physically, it's not a problem. They simply want to see if the brain will keep up. And if you quit once, it's almost guaranteed you're going to quit again. Because you gave up once. So, when you're working out, when you're running, try to push yourself harder. See if you can do it. You don't have to do it all the time, right? But who's working on their run? Who doesn't like running, not good at it? Okay? Run a little bit longer or a little bit faster sometimes. Just a little bit will help a lot. Because if you try 3% harder over the course of a month or a year, that adds up to a ton. Okay? So give it a little bit more. Who lifts? Who likes barbell stuff? Try a little bit more weight, right? That's what we're always trying to do. Because fatigue is only an early warning system, extreme athletes can push past what seems like the rest of us as natural physical limits of the body. These athletes recognize the first wave of fatigue is never a real limit, and with the right motivation can transcend it. Okay? Do you remember the triathlete? She was running an Ironman. Gets through the swim, gets through the bike, she's on to the marathon, which is the best part of her event. She's halfway through the 26 miles, and she's dying. It's like her body crashes. And she's like, I can't go on. And what happens? She kept going, right? So she's literally saying, I can't do it. And she's looking at her body and she's like, well, I am doing it. All right, so it's literally one foot in front of the other. Okay. You good? You're killing me, Smalls. Why do we feel depleted of willpower before we actually are?
It's hard. Or I want the cookie.
Yeah. Okay. It's your brain is saying stop. I give up. Okay. But it's up to you. It's literally a fight within yourself. Okay. Doesn't mean we're out of willpower. We just need to muster up the right motivation. This is why I ask you guys about your motivation. If you genuinely don't know, then it's really hard to do this. Okay? Some of you have some idea. Some of you know exactly what motivates you. Okay? If you're still struggling with it, it's okay. Again, you are not alone. This is a very common trend I've seen. But you need to find it. I was at basic training, and we were running with a dude, and he was overweight. Okay, he'd never really done anything physically. Comes right out of high school, and we're having to run. And he's running in front of me, and I'm trying to help him, trying to motivate him, right? And he's running in front of me, and he's like, Payne, I can't go on. Well, he joined the Air Force because he wanted a job, and his brand new bride was pregnant, all right? Just got married, first kid's coming. I want a good job, good security. And I'm like, why are you here? It's like, well, I need the job. Why? For my family, for my kid that's about to be born. Well, don't you think that's a good enough reason to keep running? Little dude took off. Okay? No joke. I mean, right in front of my eyes. Okay? So literally, it's just finding that right motivation. What did it say about undergrads and money? Anybody remember?
Give somebody $100, they're a lot more likely to use the.
Yeah, it's a motivating factor. If I paid you guys to read the chapters, would you?
Oh yeah.
Maybe. You're not sure?
How much we talking?
Yeah. Okay. Right. So it's a motivating factor. So hopefully you're going to get there. We were talking about this earlier. I went to survival school for the Air Force, and there's a whole bunch of secret stuff that I can't tell you. I mean, I can tell you, but then I have to kill you. And I don't know. I can do it with my pinky. Just kidding. But there's a lot of stuff that happens at survival school. It's the only time in the Air Force they can put their hands on you. They can open hand slap you. They're supposed to come from only here over. And they can backhand you in the stomach, right? So it's all just a mental game, right? I was telling them earlier, we were actually encouraged. We go to unpleasant time, unhappy time, and we're actually encouraged to try to sneak food in because we're going to have limited food, right? My pockets were stuffed with everything, and they're going through everything, and they keep calling me fat, and I'm like 40 pounds lighter than I am right now, okay? But I was trying to sneak food in, and I had it in my boots, okay? I had it everywhere, and they found 99% of it. Pen pocket on my uniform. I'd stuck gum in there. Little pieces of Trident. They're small. They didn't find them. Okay? And so when I'm alone, being solitude, left alone with my own stupid brain to think about what a horrible person I am, because that's the exercise, okay? I got my gum out. I took my time. I was slow. Tasted so good. And I was like, you dirty bastards didn't find my gum. Right? It was awesome. And I'm playing with the wrapper that I'm not supposed to have, right? Such a cool experience. Did it matter? No, but for me, it was awesome motivation. Okay? Super fun. We were all in cells and stuff like that, and there was a guy that could do Butter's voice from South Park. Hilarious. Okay, we made him do it all the time. Made everybody laugh. What was interesting was I had a couple officers. Right? I'm enlisted. I had 2 young lieutenants. And we go out in the field, and you get limited food. You got to make it last. Right? And my stupid lieutenant, who's rail thin, okay, rifles through all his food. We got like 3 days left in the field. He's like, man, I'm hungry. Bro, you just ate all your shit, like way too quickly, okay? So I give him some food because I'm rationing mine out. I'm good. I'm trying to take care of the lower enlisted, make sure everybody's good. I give him like I don't know, if it was chips or dry cereal or something like that. I go, here you go, man. We got like 3 days left. Immediately, he's eating it. Immediately. I'm like, LT, what are you doing? He's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, what are you going to do for the next 3 days? I don't know. Right? So you have to find a motivating factor. Okay? And it's pretty entertaining when you're in tough situations to do that. Okay? Some of you are going to be good. You're going to ration your food. And some of you are like, ah, shit, screw it. Need everything right away. Like, I'll figure it out later. Okay? For you guys, what's more motivating? The dream of a better future or the fear of a terrible fate? Fear? Fear? What do you mean?
I know some days I feel better than others. I feel like this future could be great, or wow, future could suck. I don't want that to be mine.
Okay, you're feared? Why?
I don't know. It's always been more of a driving factor for me. I don't know.
Okay, who's with Thomas, right? Who's with Thomas? Fear? Why? Why, Dylan?
I would just say because it's like, I would say fear because I feel like getting close to a terrible fate would be worse than getting close to a better future. If that kind of makes sense.
Okay.
Like let's say you get like halfway. Well, you still like you're halfway to a terrible fate. Like, and then but if you get halfway to like the dream of a better future, then you're like, oh well, I did good, but I
Okay, that's hilarious.
I have my terrible fate is coming, so.
Okay, Caitlin?
Because I think fear is more motivating for me at least because it's really easy to get like when you're doing okay, it's easy to get comfortable, and it's easy to not really realize like how quickly you're losing, like running out of time to do something, and so when you're like, well, if I don't get this taken care of, then I'm gonna end up being behind, and I guess like I wrote in mine like losing time like is my
Right.
motivator because that's like the one thing you can never get back, and usually you don't realize that you're wasting it until you've already done it, and
Mhm.
you kick yourself for it. So I just feel like realizing you're running out of time to reach your dreams is a better motivation than like, I'm gonna have a good future if I do this. It's more like I'm not gonna have the future I want if I don't do this.
Okay.
Because
Good. Who else? Anybody else on fear? James?
I think for me, fear is more of a motivator now, just because I haven't really found that core motivation. I feel
Okay.
like a more positive, like dream, I guess, would be better motivation. And it's probably more healthy to have like a positive goal than like a fear of a negative.
It totally depends on your personality type. Okay, Wes?
I was gonna say, I kind of, and this is kind of weird, I use both because like, I have one side of the family who's not successful at all. Like my dad's side is, they have no drive, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mom's side is like, they live very well, they drive nice cars, but they like work their asses off for it,
Mhm.
but like, they live well. And so when I see both of them, they both hit me differently. So like obviously one is a fear of ending up like one side and the dream of ending up like another. So
Okay. Yeah, we both. Yep, Declan?
For me, the thing that motivates me is for in the long term, in the short term, they're very different. So like for
Sure.
long term, it's like better future.
Mhm.
Like that's why I'm here at A&M. I want to get a good job.
Mhm.
I want to like support my family. But in order to get that good job, I got to turn in that assignment. I'm afraid that I'll get a freaking 0 on it. So,
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, okay. I can see that playing out pretty regularly. Who's motivated by the better future? Why?
I honestly don't know. I guess I am a little bit more of both. I think what motivates me more is like looking on, like thinking of having a better future.
Okay.
But then the terrible fate is kind of like what keeps you going.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like a lot more of both.
Okay.
But I'm very optimistic, so I'm always looking for like something better.
Yeah.
Probably the same. Like I'm an optimistic person, so if I start focusing on the fear, it kind of like just demotivates myself. And I'm like, I just start like thinking all this bad stuff. Like, well, like if I'm scared of this, what's the point of even trying to do it? I'm just gonna
Yeah,
fail.
terrible world. Why try?
So it's like
Life's hard, don't try. Main lesson in SOMS.
just look at the like if I like dream about what I want to achieve, that like motivates me to keep on going and going and
Good.
going. So
Yeah, okay. And you guys are touching on your personality, right? Which is kind of why we're getting into this. You should understand it. Some of us are optimistic, some of us are pessimistic. Dylan might be the only pessimist I've ever heard call himself that instead of saying he's a realist. Every pessimist I know is like, I'm just a realist. Oh, okay, maybe. All right. Which I find funny. All right. That is exactly how me and my wife are. It's really fascinating how you can marry somebody who is so different than you. It's weird. Okay. I'm like optimistic. It's gonna work out. Think it's okay. She's like, I knew COVID was gonna happen. I'm like, no, you didn't. Well, I knew something bad was gonna happen. I'm like, that doesn't mean you predicted COVID. Okay. But that's how she protects herself that way. That if I consider the worst, then maybe it won't be that bad. Whereas I'm like, oh man, things are awesome if I work hard, okay, and chase what I want, everything will be okay. Karen?
I think I'm definitely optimistic.
Yep.
And I don't want fear to be a driving factor. It's like I'm gonna do things with more anxiety or just when I could be doing things and be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, look, your whole lives you're going to go through this. Okay. There will be peaks and valleys where you're going through it. Sometimes it's not going to go great. Sometimes it will. There's a comedian who I think's been canceled, right? But he's most comedians are like manic depressive. It's really fascinating. He's from New York, right? And he's actually it was Louis C.K. if you guys have seen him. But he's like, I met an optimistic person, and they were talking about, well, something good might happen. He's like, why would anything good ever happen? And that was his view on life, right? Which I find hilarious, okay? And then I think he got canceled, but he'll be fine because he's very wealthy, okay? When you find your biggest want power, the thing you want, the thing that gives you your strength when you feel weak, focus on that whenever you need, whenever you find yourself tempted to give in or give up. This is why identifying that motivation is so important. I don't care what it is. Good or bad, I don't care. Dylan, you good? All right. Find your motivation, because that's what will keep you going when the shit hits the fan. When you're feeling tired, when you're feeling lazy, when you don't want to do it, right? Find that motivation. Push yourself past it, okay? Does anyone remember what happened in the Forest game? They were given 500 acres to manage in the book. Ring a bell? What happened?
The game played over, like, I think in game it was like 25 years, and players they started with 500 acres and they could cut down like up to 100 in a year.
Yeah.
But they only made like 6 cents
Yeah.
I don't know if it was every 100, every acre, or whatever. And so, but the forest grew at like 10 acres a year, so it made more sense to wait and let the forest grow, because then you make more money.
Yep.
But half of the group was given some like small tasks to drain their willpower beforehand, and they didn't even finish the game. They cut down their whole forest before the game ended, and then people who had more willpower waited, and they like cut down some every year, and then they ended up making more money.
Bingo. Nailed it. Okay, good, Jay. So those who got zapped with willpower screwed up the game and cut their forest down in like 10 years. Okay. Those that had some willpower made more money, sustained the forest, were more successful. You guys know what Easter Island is? What happened there? Does anybody know?
We cut down the trees and they have any food.
Yeah. So that's where those statues are. I think some dude actually looked like that. And he was like, that's not what I look like. Make another one. I got Karen to laugh. Nobody else. Okay. It's a great joke. Okay. Stole it from The Simpsons. They had all this lush forest, right? And then as the population grew, they just started cutting it down faster than they could keep up. And 97% of the population went extinct. The 3% that remained escaped to another island, basically. Okay.
Well, I think the story is when they ran out of stone, they started building the heads out of the wood. So they cut down the trees to make more heads.
Yep. Yeah, it's very strange. There's one of those in the Museum of Natural History in New York. You're going to see it. Pretty cool. Has anybody heard of Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl? This is a phenomenal book, and it's pretty short. Viktor Frankl was Jewish and in the internment camps in World War II, and was a psychologist. Okay, he's passed away since. But Viktor Frankl gets to the concentration camps and makes up his mind: I am going to survive, but I'm just going to go along with whatever happens. What really happens in the camps, and this is really jacked up, if you had like a banker, right, and a lawyer and a janitor, okay, in the camps, what the theory was that those people would kind of maintain the hierarchy, back to lobsters. Okay. The hierarchy would kind of stay the same. Like a banker and a lawyer would kind of remain at the top and look out for other people, and the janitor would assume their lower role in the internment camps. The opposite was true. Those that were higher in society were called capos. These were Jewish people who actually turned on other people in the camps in order to get favoritism, to get a little bit more food, to get special treatment from the guards. They went so far as to actually treat other Jewish people worse than some of the Nazis. Okay? So it literally threw out when everything's taken away, when your basic life necessities are taken away, we will most likely revert to not a good state in the sake of survival, right? We will absolutely throw other people under the bus. I highly recommend reading this book if you're kind of trying to figure out motivation, things like that, just because he paints his picture of what happened, not anybody else's. But really good book if you're trying to figure that out. Yeah. All right, hang in there, we're almost done, right? Humans have a natural tendency to focus on immediate gains. Changing course to prevent future disasters takes self-discipline from everyone. It's not a matter of just caring. Change requires doing. Right? Can you make good decisions when your willpower is depleted? Has anybody heard of Norman Borlaug? right here on campus is the Borlaug Institute. Norman Borlaug received the Nobel Peace Prize for producing types of wheat that grow in parts of the world where they didn't have enough food. It was called the Green Revolution. Green is in the sense of finding enough food to feed everybody. He felt like he failed in Africa, but literally saved hundreds of millions of lives. Okay? His saying was, we can't have world peace on an empty stomach. Right? I highly recommend you learn a little bit about Norman Borlaug while you are here. He is, I think he was from Minnesota or Wisconsin, so there's ties there, but he taught and worked here for decades. As an individual, can you take steps to strengthen your personal self-control? Will it make a difference in your personal life? Yeah, you won't cheat on your spouse. Okay.
That's why I'm never dieting.
What is choice architecture? Dylan, you good? Alex?
It's like when the grocery store puts stuff in the convenience aisle.
Bingo. Yeah. Okay. When you go to check out at the grocery store, what's all around you? Candy. Why?
Because it's cheap.
It's cheap, easy. I need sugar. I need fat. It's right there. Okay. So much so that grocery stores have learned what's at eye level. That's a higher priority. Food companies will pay to be at eye level on the shelves, which is why the cheap generic stuff's all on the bottom shelf. Okay. Here's the end. Right. People who are free to choose anything most often choose against their long-term interests. The candy addict. Kind of like what Karen did with her phone. What did the candy addict? The guy who never said no to candy. And you'll see this in the workforce. This is really weird to me. People who take every bit of candy, every donut that's offered, whatever. What did the guy do who liked the jelly beans? Put a jar somewhere else. And the first time he just grabbed them, right? No big deal. And then he started thinking about it. And then he made the choice not to eat them. Okay? Limits on self-control suggest it's not because we're innately irrational or we make deliberate decisions to enjoy today and screw tomorrow. Instead, we may simply be too tired to act against our worst impulses. Right? How can you support your most exhausted self? It's relevant to all of you this morning at 8 a.m. What? Take a nap. Get a good night's sleep. Eat enough food. Prepare. Look, it's hard. But notice what you did last week and how much time you wasted on shit. Cut a little bit of that out. Get a little bit more sleep. Right? Can't control everything. Right? But the only way to increase self-control is to stretch our limits. Train like an intelligent athlete. Push yourself a little bit. Okay? Try a little bit harder. Right? And you'll find that it pays off. This week's assignment is up. It is over chapter 4, and it's really fun and interesting based on what we've been doing. So hang in there, keep reading. I hope you're finding it relevant. You do not need to reply to other posts this week. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go be awesome. Have a wonderful week.